I'm Neeraj Mahe, alongside my partner Eric Werman with your Colonial Sports Update. This year was full of successful seasons for the Colonials, and they were all very competitive in the Dual County League.
The boys lacrosse team had a slow start, but they turned around their record later in the season and claimed the DCL title. They also competed in the state playoffs against the best teams in Massachusetts. This story is brought to you by our own Brian Sweeney and James Fletcher.
The ABRHS varsity boys lacrosse team has one of the best teams it's seen in years and recently won a share of the DCL title.
The ABRHS varsity lacrosse team started out the season slowly, but now they are a lock for the state tournament. We interviewed head coach Patrick Amendolia on his thoughts of the season so far and his goals for the upcoming tournament.
So Coach, what do you think the strengths of this year's teams are?
The strengths of this year's varsity team is it's in the midfield and in goal for us. So our first line midfield is doing terrific. They have scored more goals as one line of the midfield that we've ever had here. And Jack Rogers in goal is doing a tremendous job, and he's making the tough saves when he needs to. And we're just going to roll with that.
Anything they still need to work on?
Yeah, we could get a little quicker. Okay, we definitely need to tighten up the screws defensively in front of Jack. Certainly picking up ground balls and just overall hustle. Not that we're a bad hustling team, but we could certainly improve there.
What are your goals for the upcoming state tournament?
Our goal is to take it one game at a time and do the best we can at each one. Basically, we just want to go out there, put our best effort that we can into each game, and if we play our best and do what we can.
What do you think this year's best team victory was?
I'd have to say Westford, our last victory last Thursday, right up here in Leary. Just completely crushed them, and we don't like Westford very much, and they don't like us, so that was certainly a terrific W for the Colonials.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
You got it.
This year, 2 freshmen made the varsity lacrosse team. I had a chance to speak with one of them, Joe Cormier, and get some insight about what he thinks about the team this year and the upcoming state tournament.
I think it's really good. Better, probably the best team I've been on, and it's very challenging, and we're winning a lot, so it's good. My personal goals is just to help the team out however I can, if that's winning face-offs or, I don't know, getting the water balls, whatever works.
With a young team, the ABRHS varsity boys lacrosse team looks set to challenge for the title for many years to come.
The boys had a very experienced squad that led them to the playoffs. It's great to see the determination and perseverance they had to turn their season around.
On the other hand, the girls' squad has a very young team led by new head coach Scott Byron. The team shows much promise for the upcoming seasons. Although they had an up-and-down one this year, they have the potential to be great. Here is Angela Zhao and Brooke Goshtigian with the story.
AB Girls Varsity Lacrosse has had a rough start with the new transition from the head coach, Mr. Byron. However, with over more than 25 games in the entire season, AB has proved everyone's expectations wrong.
It has been a big transition with the new head coach, Mr. Byron. He has taken on the team and reformed each individual into a better lacrosse player, simultaneously improving the team as a whole. We got to talk with one of the girls to ask what it was like with such a big change.
Mr. Byron knows a lot about lacrosse, and so he's clearly a very good coach because he has a lot of knowledge on the sport. But it was definitely a struggle at the beginning of the year because it's always hard to get used to a new person in such a powerful role. So we didn't always know what he wanted from us and what he thought was the most important part of the game. So that definitely took some getting used to. But the season has been great so far, and we've only gotten better.
I think it was a big adjustment, and I think they're still adjusting to the style of play that I've introduced the team. And I think that that's taken a while to really implement. I expect a lot out of every player, probably more than they've ever been asked for before with lacrosse, but that's the only way you're going to be successful.
Like Mr. Byron has said, improvement takes time, and that can only be achieved with dedication and hard work, one thing these girls don't lack in. We had a chance to ask Melissa Trimble, a junior on the team, what her expectations were before the season began and how it played out.
Going into the season, we weren't sure how the season would go because we lost a lot of seniors and also there were a lot of new players.
The team is accompanied by numerous underclassmen, including freshmen Eleni Nealon and Elena Cardarelli. This young team grows each time they step out on the field and just keeps getting better.
We girls season comes to an end. They finish off with some of their toughest competition yet, including LS and Winchester ranked top 5 in the state, and Westwood ranked first. We wish them luck as they go on in hopes of making it to the playoffs.
The girls' team is working hard this offseason towards improving their record in the future. We'll be right back after this public service announcement. 51 billion pieces of litter land on roadways each year. Do your part by cleaning up after yourself.
Litter lasts. Litter lasts long after the snacks are gone, long after the paper's been read, long after the drink is empty.
There is an abundance of conveniently located garbage cans in which you can dispose your trash, as well as recycling bins in classes.
If possible, please recycle. And remember, litter lasts.
The boys volleyball team is a new offering here to AB. Just in its second year, the team has already made vast improvement. It is becoming very popular among students, making them very competitive in the league.
Our very own Colonial Sport Update member, Patrick Christmas, who is also a leader on the volleyball team, got the chance to talk to Coach Mark Starr about the season in this edition of the Coach's Corner.
Hi, I'm Patrick Christmas, and on this edition of Coach's Corner, I am with the boys varsity and girls varsity volleyball coach here at AB, Mark Starr. Thanks for joining us. So, Mr. Starr, what first got you to start playing volleyball?
I was actually a basketball player in high school and played in college for 1 year, and then decided to give that sport up, and a good friend of mine convinced me to play volleyball at the University of Massachusetts, and I fell in love with the sport, and basically have just been playing ever since.
So, what do you think made you fall in love with the sport so much?
You know, I don't really know. It's just something about the sport that it's a very, it's not just physical, but there's a lot of mental aspects to the game, and it was just something that I had never experienced before, and although I love basketball and still do, something about volleyball just really attracted me, and like I said, it's been my passion for close to 40 years now.
So through playing volleyball, what are some accomplishments or experiences that you have achieved?
I played for a team out of Providence, Rhode Island for about 20 years, and we won the New England Championships a couple of those years. I also played in some national tournaments. There's one tournament that my team actually won the national tournament, and then competed in a lot of USVBA national tournaments, like 40-year-old and over and things like that. So those were probably my biggest accomplishments in playing the sport.
So are you still playing volleyball today?
I'm not. I was playing for about 10 years in an outdoor league, but a slight shoulder problem, and it was right when I was starting to get into coaching. So I decided that I'd get my my pleasure from volleyball out of coaching as opposed to playing.
So at what time did you start coaching volleyball?
I've actually only been coaching for the 3 years. I was trying to get this boys program started, and in the meantime, the girls program needed a JV coach. So I became the JV coach, and then the varsity coach went on to other things, so I became the varsity coach after the first year for the girls.
So what about AB made you want to start the volleyball program here?
Well, I'm an AB guy. I mean, I graduated here, and like I said, volleyball has been my passion for close to 40 years now, and I just thought it was time. My business life allowed me to have the time to be done every day at 2:30, and I just really wanted to start a boys program here because I love the sport so much.
So have you enjoyed playing volleyball more or coaching it?
20 years ago, I would have said absolutely playing it and stuff, but I am really enjoying coaching. I never coached in my life until 3 years ago, and I can't believe how much I'm enjoying both the girls and the boys. It's just been a fantastic experience for me.
What aspect about coaching do you like the best?
I think it's just seeing the kids progress and really get into volleyball. Volleyball seems to be a sport that when somebody gets passionate about it, they really get passionate about it. It's happened to me. Like I said, back in college. And I've seen it happen with some of the girls and now a couple of the boys that just really it becomes all-consuming to them. I think the boys understood what it took to compete at the level we compete at. The Dual County League happens to have some of the best volleyball teams in the state, and we have to play against them. And now they understand it, and some of the boys just really dedicated themselves in the off season, and they are vastly improved. The whole team is, and you know we're most likely, I won't count my chickens before they hatch, but we're probably going to make the state tournament after being 1-15 the year before. So that's a tremendous accomplishment.
So was that a goal at the starting of the season, or what was your main goal starting the season?
That was my main goal starting the season. And I think I told the boys who went through that 1-15 season that, and I think they thought I was crazy, that we could go from 1-15. You have to finish at least 500, win half your games to make the state tournament. And we're one game away from that as we're taping this. And the two teams we still have to play, we've beaten both. So we will most likely make the state tournament. And like I said, the boys deserve a lot of credit. They worked extremely hard to make this happen.
So through all these leaps and bounds the players have achieved, what has been your main philosophy in coaching them?
That defense wins volleyball. It's as simple as that. And that's true with a lot of sports, but it's really true with volleyball. My team can't compete offensively with some of the stronger teams like LS and Newton South. But we gave them both really good games because our defense was so good. And it kind of proved my point to my team that defense can keep you in just about any match. So that's my main philosophy.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. That's it for this edition of the Coach's Corner. Now you know a little bit more about Acton Boxborough Volleyball and the coach behind it.
The volleyball team had a great season where they played their home games in the Regan Gymnasium. The girls basketball team also played there during the winter season. This star-studded team featured UNH-bound Elizabeth Belanger, who led the team to the TD Garden for the state North Finals.
Elizabeth has compiled more than 1,000 points through her junior year here at AB. Our own James Manhurst of Colonial Sports Update sat down with Elizabeth for this player profile.
Hello, I'm James Manhurst, here with your Colonial player profile. With me today is AB girls varsity basketball player Elizabeth Belanger. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Elizabeth is currently a junior at AB, and she has already accomplished a lot in her young high school career. So, Elizabeth, when did you first start playing basketball?
I started in 3rd grade. I did combat basketball 3rd and 4th, and then I started playing AAU in 5th grade, I think, with the North Central Blaze.
Why did you first start playing basketball?
Well, our family's grown up a lot around like sports, and so my brother was a huge football player, so I just wanted to try basketball. It looked fun. I always watched it on TV, and turned out I loved it.
So talk about the AAU team you played in the past, and how long did you play for them?
Like I said, I started in 5th grade, and I think I played on that team till about 7th grade, and then my dad actually started a team, and I got a few girls from my high school team, and then a few girls from the surrounding towns, and we started a team. But now I play for the New England Crusaders, which is based out of New Hampshire, and we practice up there and play all through the summer.
How have you grown from various coaches?
I think just having different perspectives, a girl coach or a guy coach, they're very different, different coaching styles, and just playing with different players.
Do you have any routines or how is your practice schedule for the New England Crusaders?
Well, we practice usually just on Saturdays because it's so hard to get everyone. But we practice for 4 hours at a time, and we usually we cover everything from defense, offense, press break, all that.
How do you practice during the off season?
I usually, since we can't even use the gym in the school, I usually go to Elm Street and shoot around, or I play pickup with my neighbor. I just work out on my own, go to the gym.
How do you balance playing basketball so much and doing schoolwork?
I think it's actually easier during the season because I'm more disciplined in getting my homework and projects and stuff done because I know I have to get done by a certain time because I have practice or a game or etc.
And what year did you first make the varsity team here?
My freshman year.
And how did you feel when you made it?
It was exciting. I was really nervous going into tryouts, but I thought I was well prepared and just to play how I always do and not be intimidated.
How has the team grown over the past 3 years?
I think we've just gained a lot more experience and gotten used to playing with each other. And our new coach, Coach Landry, this year was great for us. She had a new perspective. We responded well to her.
How successful has the team been?
This year?
This year,
yeah, we did great. We learned a lot from Coach Landry, like I said, and she really worked us hard, and we wanted to work, so it ended up being great.
You guys made it to the North Final.
Yeah.
And you guys played at the TD Garden. What was that like?
Yeah, that was awesome. It was just the whole hype in school and seeing everyone getting dismissal notes and be like, oh, that's for our game. It was pretty cool, and then seeing all the fans when we walked or were warming up on the floor, it was pretty cool.
Nice. You're a 1,000-point scorer, which is a very great feat. And what would you say most contributed to your success?
I think just all the support I've had from my friends and family and coaches and stuff have really helped me, and just determination to do great. I thought it's a great accomplishment, and I'm glad I was able to get it this year.
Do you think you'll be able to break the school all-time scoring record next year?
I'll try, but that's not my main focus. That will be to get past the Division I North Final. If that happens to come along the way, that'll be awesome.
Yes. What are your plans for the future beyond high school for basketball?
Well, I'm actually playing at UNH going in the fall of 2012, and I'm really excited about it. The coaches are awesome. It's their first year this year, actually, so it'll be their 3rd year when I get there, and they have just great personality, and I love the school and the coaches and the team, so I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
With luck, Liz will be able to lead AB back to the sectional finals next year. We'll be right back after a quick public service announcement.
Recycling, a habit that can save the world.
Did you know that 2.5 million recyclable plastic objects are trashed every hour in the United States? This is a problem as plastic takes about 700 years to decompose in a landfill.
Here at ABRHS, there are many opportunities to recycle. Plastic reusable trays are starting to be used in the cafeteria, and there is a plethora of recycling cans throughout the hallways, as well as a place to recycle in every classroom. The school also offers a recycling club for any student who wants to get involved.
Many students here at ABRHS do not realize a plastic container can still be recycled regardless of whether it's empty or not.
Recycling is not the job of one person, but an entire community. If we join together, we can fix this problem.
Following the winter seasons, the outdoor track season commenced. This year, the boys' cross-country, indoor track, and outdoor track teams had record-breaking seasons. They clinched the DCL title and a Division I state title.
We were able to follow the team's progress this year and report on their spectacular accomplishment. sweeping the league and going undefeated.
This year's indoor track, cross country, and outdoor track teams here at AB have gone undefeated in the DCL, and this looks like it could be the year for them to win states.
Every member of the team understands the significance of what it is they are trying to accomplish.
First time in AB history, indoor track, cross country, and outdoor track has gone undefeated.
With the newly dedicated track to Hall of Fame coach Richard Dow, the team looks to carry on his legacy this season. We talked to freshman runner Samarth Gupta about this year's team's keys to success.
Coaching this year with Mr. Crossman, and we have a lot of seniors that are really contributing, and we have a good junior class too.
The chance to talk to Mr. Crossman, the varsity head coach, about the potential of this year's squad.
This year's team is probably the best cross-country indoor and outdoor track team all-time history, because yesterday we just completed an undefeated season defeating Concord Carlisle. It's an eclectic team, a crew that is diverse. We've got hurdlers, jumpers, throwers. Everybody works hard to contribute this year. It's just been a top-shelf team. Chris Pulleritz, Kurt Owen, Evan Shea, Neil Olson, Alex Durkee. We have a great crew that's going to lead us on to probably could win the Division I state meet.
With the team's undefeated record, they have visions of grandeur in the postseason, looking for the state title.
This dream is starting to become reality, and the whole team is working extremely hard to achieve this feat.
The track team is led by their elite runners like senior Kurt Owen. As a record holder in multiple events, Kurt's determination and hard work rubbed off on the rest of the team.
His leadership is one of the many reasons the team won a Division I state title recently. He is headed for UMass Amherst to run next year. Our own James Manhurst sat down with Kurt for an interview about this year's accomplishments.
Hello, I'm James Manhurst with your Colonial player profile. Today we have Kurt Owen with us. Hello, Kurt.
Hi, how are you?
Kurt is a senior runner at Acton-Boxborough Regional High School and is currently one of the track and field captains. Overall, he's had an amazing career full of accomplishments. Well, Kurt, let's get started. How is this track team doing this spring?
Well, we've actually had one of our best seasons. We finished undefeated for the regular season. We're about to jump into our championship season, so that includes districts, which are DCLs, D1 states, all states, New England's, and hopefully nationals.
Wow, that's impressive. What are the practices like?
Well, the practices, they start at 2:45 and they run till about 4:15. Then we've got weight room from 4:15 to 5, which isn't mandatory, but if you want to get better, you have to do that. Practices are 5 days a week. We got meets on Saturdays.
Is there anything specific you do before a big meet?
Well, it depends. I mean, our biggest focus is DCLs and D1s, so we're kind of training around that. So for the first couple, maybe the first month or so, we're going to do some base work, so it's going to be higher mileage, less speed. Then we're going to transition, do more speed, and once we hit kind of championship season where we are now, we're going to focus purely on fast twitch fibers and getting the leg turnover going.
Would you say we have any big rival schools?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say for track, it's definitely probably Lincoln Sudbury and Newton South. They're pretty much powerhouses. They've got good sprinters, solid distance, and very good throwers.
I know at our school there's 3 different sports for running. Do you partake in all 3 of them?
Yep, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track.
Which of them do you find most appealing?
Probably outdoor track, just because the practices are so much better. You know, it's a nice day, 78, unlike indoors where you could be running outside 8-9 miles in 20 degrees.
So what event do you run?
I usually do from anywhere from the 400 meters, so quarter mile up to the mile. I focus mostly on the 800 meters. That's what I'm going to be running for states and hopefully past that. But yeah, cross country is 5K, which comes out to about 3.12 miles.
So looking at some records that you have here, I see that you have the school record in the 800, as well as the 4x4 relay and the 4x8 relay. Are any of those really special to you? Or?
Yeah, a couple of them are. The 800 record, it was really big for me. That happened last year at the All-State meet. It was a tough race. The quarter mile went out in 56 seconds, and I wasn't sure if I could hold on. All I had throughout my race was, school record, need a break, 1:56. And when I did, it was just kind of a sense of accomplishment for me because it broke my barrier.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Who inspired you to first run track?
It would probably be a combination between Coach Crossman and my mom. My mom ran Division I up in college, up in Canada, and she was a good cross-country runner. And Coach Crossman, he was on the U.S. team. He's anchored some huge relays for the U.S., and he comes to practice every day, and he encourages people and tells them to do their best and just pushes them to what they can be.
What does it mean for you to be voted Senior Athlete of the Year?
I mean, it means a lot because when I look back at my track career, it's a lot of hard work, getting up pretty early, putting in the mileage, putting in the speed work, and now it's coming to the end for my high school career. It's nice to kind of be recognized and just know that it was all worth it in the end.
Is there any record left that you would like to break?
I'd like to break my 800 record again to kind of distance it because there's a lot of good guys coming up and see if I can get some more off that. But unfortunately, I'm probably just going to be running 800 and 4x8 from now on. So the events that I'm going to be kind of limited to.
All right. Well, do you have any advice for those people who are coming up for track?
Definitely. It's going to be hard at first, it seems like, but once you get out there, once you put in the work, it's going to get a lot easier. And when you are running a race, it's going to seem like you're in pain, but you can really take a lot more than you think. So you just got to push it, and then once you get past that pain barrier, it just gets easier from there.
And where will you be going on to college?
Going to be at UMass Amherst.
And will you be on their track team?
Yeah, I'm going to be running track and cross country there.
All right. Well, thank you, and good luck in your future.
Thank you.
We wish Kurt luck next year at UMass and hope he can continue his accomplishments. Kurt's ability has brought great pride to the track program and the athletic director, Mr. Steve Deasy.
AB's own Patrick Christmas got the chance to speak with athletic director Steve Deasy. He reflected on the successful seasons this year for AB Sports. He also told us what to look forward to in the upcoming seasons, including the possibility of new turf fields.
Hi, I'm Patrick Christmas, and I'm with the Acton-Boxborough Regional High School Director of Athletics, Steve Deasy. Thanks for joining us. So looking back on the 2010 to 2011 school year, what have been some of the highlights of this AB athletics?
Well, obviously the school year isn't over. We're right in the middle of the spring MIA tournaments, and hopefully there are some more highlights. Every one of our spring programs made the tournament season. But obviously our track program has been outstanding, especially our boys program. The boys cross country won their championship and did well in the tournament. The indoor track team, the boys track team this spring won the districts and is going for a state championship this coming Saturday. Girls basketball went to the Garden. Girls ice hockey played for a state championship. So there's been a lot of highlights. Our boys volleyball team in their second year of existence made the tournament. So we continue to be blessed. We continue to have great athletes. We continue to have tremendous coaching and a lot of success. So it's been a terrific season.
What would you say has been your favorite team to watch?
There's a lot of favorites. You get caught up in a lot of them. Obviously, the field hockey and the girls soccer have had some great runs. The ice hockey and the girls basketball going to the Garden was a lot of fun. Boys basketball was a great run and a lot of great games, and then some of the big rivalry games with Westford and between the Lowell holiday tournament and the league games. And I think we're going to see some tremendous tournament games coming down the stretch. So any of those were really exciting moments and a lot of fun to be involved with. And some of the track meets this year with the boys being so strong and so dominant was a lot of fun to be part of.
So like volleyball teams, well, have been some sports teams that were recently added to AB?
Well, the newest is obviously volleyball. I don't think anything. I think the newest to that would be wrestling, which is probably about 18, 19, 20 years old. So that's been the newest addition was our volleyball program. Second year of existence. Terrific job to come from where they were in their first year to where they were in their second year making the tournament. So hopefully, you know, in the future we see some new programs. Part of the problems, part of the challenges is the money to put in new programs, and the procedure is they have to be self-funded for 3 years, have to be accepted by the school committee, and then space. I mean, you have to have places to run programs. You need gymnasiums, you need fields, and we don't have enough fields for what we currently have. So, you know, that's all part of the formula. We've got to find more ways to support more programs. We're a big school district. We got 2,000 kids here at the high school. We have 1,000 students at the junior high. So it's all part of what we need to take a hard look at moving forward.
You were mentioning all those factors for how a team was added. Excuse me, it was added. What factors made it so that volleyball was possible?
The hard work of Mark Starr. To tell you quite honestly, I think probably about 6-7 years ago, people were interested in starting a boys volleyball program. But Mark really took the project on, and he went out and started doing some fundraising, and he got guys interested in it, and he went out and started soliciting funds and started a organization to raise money, and went to the school committee and along with myself and said, hey, I'm willing to fund this through my booster organization for 3 years. So, you know, he's paid for the transportation, he's paid for the coaches, he's paid for the uniforms, he's paid for the officials. So, you know, he's paid for the whole program, and he will do so along with the boosters for the first 3 years. At the end of that period of time, through the school committee policy and procedures, the school committee will then pick up the tab and run it like we do all our other programs. So that's the process. That's how it's done. You know, along with that, you have to have teams to play, which the Dual County League does have, and it's good. We have people involved. So any new sports have to go through that process. I've had people recently talk to me about rugby. I mean, other schools have it. The issue is, where do we put those teams to practice? I mean, you know, there's only so many fields. You know, they said to me, we'll practice at 5 in the morning, and that's all well and good, but it's not quite that easy. So, you know, we have other things we're looking at. It takes time, and it takes money. Hopefully in the future, we'll be adding some other activities.
So it's rumored that there's going to be a new floor in the upper gym.
That's the rumor. It's been something, you know, that floor is 40, 45 years old, and it's done well. We started talking about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, about finding a way to finance and put in a new floor. And basically, this past tournament season, we washed the floor down to get all the salt and stuff off it in between games, and what we noticed is the floor was starting to crack, and it was starting to crack and go all the way down to the concrete base. So at that point, we had a discussion internally between Dr. Mills, our superintendent, J.D. Head, who's our director of facilities, Dr. Callan, our principal, myself, and say, you know, we've got to do something sooner rather than later. The bids are out. We're looking at replacing the floor. We went out, we looked at what our options were. Part of the problem is we have a pool underneath, so there's a lot of humidity. And our options were somewhat limited to what we could put in there. So we've looked at a floor that we believe is going to be a considerable improvement on what's on that floor. It's going to have a better shock absorption than what's on that floor. It's going to have a 35% shock absorption. The current floor has what we believe to be about a 6 or 8%, so there'll be more spring to the floor. Something that will be a quick turnaround. We're hoping to get it done the latter part of this summer. Bids are going to be opened, I believe, the second week of June, so next week, and we'll see where that brings us. And hopefully, if everything falls into place, come this fall, there'll be a new playing surface in that facility.
Are there going to be any other equipment or playing improvements?
For this school year?
Yeah, in the near
probably not. We are looking at a project, a partnering, and we're trying to figure out a way to maybe take some of the outer fields, which are the lacrosse soccer fields that are out back, and we're looking at all different options right now, but what we're looking at is a possibility of putting 2 turf field turf fields with lights, turning some of the wooded area near Route 2 into parking, maybe putting in a storage building that has restrooms and a concession stand, and, you know, improving that area. So we're looking at that. It's something we've been discussing, I want to say, for about a year. We're getting closer. We have some ideas. We know what it's going to cost us. We're looking at ways to make it work. I would think that if we're going to pull it together, we may be about a year away from making it happen. But I'm optimistic. It's looking good. So hopefully.
Can you speak about the issue regarding? Can you speak about the issue regarding appointing new captains to AB sports teams?
Well, I can speak to it. I think what you're really asking me is, what about the new athletic policy?
Yeah. And what do you think of it?
Well, I support what Dr. Callan has proposed. I understand what the problem is. The problem, I think, has to do with the 1-year probation of the captain's rule. I've been here an awful long time. I've been here 28 years here at Acton-Boxborough. That rule was proposed by the Superintendent's Advisory Committee 27 years ago. And the idea behind that rule was that we were going to have a probationary period for any chemical health violations for 1 year. That was 27 years ago. A lot's changed in 27 years. And I think that's really what we're looking at and what we're discussing. I think Dr. Callan, and I don't want to really speak for her, feels that we wouldn't recommend that your parents ground you for a year. So what we've said is, let's take a look at the chemical health policy, and let's take that piece of it out, which is not the MIAA's rule. The MIAA rule is that there is no language in there about captaincy. So from league to league to league, it's all handled differently. So what she wanted to do, in my understanding, is make it consistent. And we want that the leadership piece of it is handled differently by the school. So what we have proposed to the coaches is, you can name captains whenever you want. But if there's a chemical health violation, they're going to lose their captaincy. So, you know, the 1-year piece has been removed, and that we want our kids, you know, when young people make mistakes, and we understand that. But putting in a 1-year probation or, you know, suspension doesn't make sense. So that's what we're telling our coaches, is that give your kids an opportunity, you know, to prove who their leaders are, and when you're sure, you can then select them as captains. That's the advice we've given to our coaches.
So looking ahead to the upcoming seasons, what AB sports teams are you looking forward to?
All of them. All of them. I mean, what kind of athletic director would I be if I didn't believe in them all? It's an exciting place to work and to be the athletic director, because we do so well. I was talking with some, you know, I mean, the norm is everybody here makes the tournament. Everybody does well. Everybody excels. This is an exciting place to be, and it's a great place to work. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for all your time. That's
No
all
problem.
for this edition of Talking with our Director of Athletics, Steve Deasy.
Overall, this has been a tremendous year for the Colonials, and congratulations to all the successful teams.